WCBI News at 6 starts now.
We begin with breaking news tonight. A Columbus teen is charged with murder, accused of killing another teenager this past weekend at a Sweet 16 party. Our Quentin Smith is live at the Lowndes County Jail with the very latest. Quentin.
Joey, we just got confirmation that Curtis Lathan has been charged with the murder of 16-year-old Erica White. Now, just moments ago, Lathan was brought here to the Lowndes County Jail. Earlier today, the teenager went before a judge and he was denied bond. Now, this all dates back to an incident that happened this weekend. Erica White was shot outside the Community Activity Center at Probst Park on Saturday night. A birthday party was being held at the time. Sources tell WCBI that White was an innocent bystander when gunfire rang out after an argument broke out. Now, again, the arrest was made this past hour. Curtis Lathan has been charged with the murder of 16-year-old Erica White, and he was denied bond earlier this evening. Now, of course, we're going to continue to follow this developing story and bring you more details as they become available. But for now, reporting live in Columbus, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
In another story, a 22-year-old Fort Worth, Texas man is charged with murder in the shooting death of Ole Miss student Alexandra Allie Costell of St. Louis. Brandon Thiesfeld made his first court appearance in Lafayette County Circuit Court this morning. Costell's body was found in Harmontown Saturday by a deputy on patrol. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Department released a statement that there was apparent foul play. WLBT-TV, our news partner, reports that she suffered 8 gunshot wounds. Bond has not been set. Thiesfeld is still in custody. The online news site hottitoddy.com reports that he was a business student at the University of Mississippi and has been suspended from the university. The Ole Miss student's death has left the entire town of Oxford saddened and stunned, wondering how something like this could happen in their small community. Our Riley Livingston talks with some residents and has more.
This street in Oxford is a hot spot for college students on the weekends, and it's the last place Allie was seen. Beaver's Ridge is about 30 miles north of Oxford, and this is where a Lafayette County Sheriff's deputy found Allie's body.
Shock, because Oxford is usually like a pretty nice and peaceful town. You know, it's a college town and it's a lot of fun, and when you hear something like this, it kind of, shakes up the community a little bit. So
shock. The word many people in Oxford are feeling after finding out Ole Miss student Allie Costell was killed.
We don't have a lot of, going on around here. Usually that's bad crime and stuff, so not like the cities. Usually we have pretty peacefulness. Usually here you got all the amenities of the city without the the crime and stuff. Usually this kind of stuff doesn't usually happen. So
the residents we talked to are hopeful Costell's family can find comfort that an arrest was made in the case.
Start the process for justice, I guess, for the family. I'm sure they're get some, I don't know if you can get closure from that, but some kind of peace, maybe. I don't know.
I was actually kind of relieved and glad that the family could at least get some sort of sense of, closure about the situation. So, it's a good thing that they did make an arrest. So,
the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department has released few details about the investigation, leaving many to wonder what happened to the St. Louis native that was taking summer courses on campus.
It's pretty crazy, especially the way from what they say it happened and shots fired. That's brutal.
The Lafayette County Sheriff's Department is still investigating Allie's murder, and we will continue to bring details as they become available. For now, reporting in Lafayette County, Riley Livingston, WCBI News.
In less than a minute, about $1,600 was loaded into the back of a Chevy Tahoe. In surveillance of video from Phoebe One Stop, you can see someone throw a rock through the front door of the store about 1:40 this morning. Within seconds, 2 people are inside, dragging an ATM out of the door and into the back of the SUV. Clay County Sheriff Eddie Scott says the vehicle left going south on Highway 389 toward Oktibbeha County. The thieves wore masks and hats to cover their face along with dark clothing. Scott believes this is the first time someone has taken an ATM in the county. If you have any information, call Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers. There are about 130 registered sex offenders in Lowndes County, which are required to re-register with the county every 90 days. If they don't show up, there could be more jail time in their future. Our Cash Matlock joins us live with more. Cash?
Well, Joey, as it turns out, registering every 90 days is just one law among a host of others that offenders must abide by. In fact, there are 17 total laws that registered sex offenders must follow. Lowndes County Lieutenant Detective Tony Cooper deals with sex offender registry cases all the time. He says there are laws that offenders must follow every day, and breaking even one of those laws could have major consequences.
Any violation of these 17 rules could result in a 5-year maximum sentence in the Department of Corrections.
Cooper says those registered must notify the Mississippi Department of Public Safety if they intend on visiting a neighboring county or even another residence in their own county.
If they're going to be anywhere for a period of 7 or more consecutive days and they're not going to be at their registered address, then we need to know where they're going to be.
Each state has different laws regarding sex offenders, which is their responsibility to know.
If they go to another state, what I recommend is once you get there, check in with the authorities of that jurisdiction. Let them know that you're there. They will tell you, in fact, if you need to register with them or not. The last thing that you want to do is, say, go to Alabama, find out that, if you're going to be there 3 or more days, you must register. You go over there for a week. Now all of a sudden you violated their laws and you face going to jail, whether you knew, you were in violation or not.
It's known that sex offenders are not allowed around schools or parks unless their child is playing in a game. Even during a natural disaster, such as a hurricane, sex offenders have to follow a new law.
Sort of like you heard, in New Orleans, they were mixed in with the regular crowd inside the Superdome. So this allows us to know who is in the shelters, where they're at, and allows us to keep track of where they're at.
Cooper says the set of laws may seem harsh, but they are necessary in keeping the public safe.
This doesn't stop them from having a life. They can continue on with their education, continue on with their jobs, all of that. Cooper tells me that Mississippi will soon be switching to a system where the sex offender registry is printed on the offender's driver's license. For that full list of rules or laws, you can visit our website at WCBI.com. Reporting in Columbus, Cash Matlock, WCBI News.
All right, thanks a lot, Cash. Time to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson with a first look at our forecast.
Joey, right now we are looking outside in downtown Columbus and we see a lot of sunshine, friendly clouds, upper 70s in Starkville, 79, 81 in Columbus, and 82 for you in Tupelo. So nice and pleasant across the board. Not too bad at all. All those showers and storms we had yesterday down here along the Gulf Coast, and that's where they are going to be for the rest of this evening and tonight, and really for the next couple of days. So this evening, upper 70s, giving way to upper 60s by mid to late evening. Lows tonight down into the lower 60s, even a shot at some upper 50s. Your full forecast, Joey, in just a few minutes.
Former Pickens County Sheriff David Abston pleads guilty to 2 federal charges today. Abston was accused of scamming a food bank and church and pocketing leftover money meant for feeding inmates. Initially, he faced 9 charges. He pled guilty to 1 count of wire fraud and 1 count of filing a false return. The other charges have been dropped. Prosecutors say Abston defrauded a food bank and church to pocket thousands under a law that let sheriffs profit from feeding prisoners. Abston was the sheriff in Pickens County for more than 3 decades. He could face up to 20 years in prison, but prosecutors will recommend a reduction because he accepted responsibility and agreed to pay $51,280 in restitution. Federal agents are calling him one of the largest methamphetamine distributors in North Mississippi. Federal court filings say Jeremy Meredith runs a widespread operation focusing on Lee County and surrounding areas. Agents tracked Meredith and others on flights to California to buy drugs and shipments from Sacramento to Meredith's home on Texas Avenue in Verona. He faces a federal court hearing later this week. A club formed at the turn of the century, last century, is still teaching important life skills today. We see how they're doing when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Learning by doing. It almost seems like a lost art in this day of webinars and YouTube tutorials, but there are groups out teaching young people hands-on lessons in building, growing, and creating. Our Stephanie Poole gets a first-hand look at one of their projects. She joins us live in the studio with more. Stephanie?
Yes, you may have heard of the 4-H Club and think it's all about raising corn or cows. But there are bigger lessons in responsibility and life skills. And for the over 6 million members, those skills can last a lifetime. Head, heart, hands, health. For over 100 years, the 4-H Club has been teaching young people to navigate their way through life, combining the best use of all four. MSU Extension Agent Trent Barnett has been involved with H4 for 20 years, and he says its lessons are just as vital today.
It's important to have our young people active. In today's world, a young person needs a project or an activity, and a lot of free time with our adolescents and our teenagers is just not good. Someone running around looking for something to do.
He says 4-H helps them develop skills and habits that can last a lifetime.
It just meets all those needs by doing that, and they learn a lot of responsibility with working with their projects, whether that be a sewing project to enter in our exhibit contest, a photography project, or whether it be one of our livestock or animal projects here.
Those exhibits give club members a chance to show off what they learned and accomplished, and they help develop a sense of community.
So all of the kids in our county get to come together and just be a part of this awesome program. And you get to learn a lot too. There are a lot of different clubs that you can join, and it's a very educational program, and I really enjoy being a part of it.
It teaches me responsibility, and you can make a lot of friends through 4-H and all that, and you can learn a lot.
I feel like our family, but they're not even family. Like, I didn't even meet them till like a few years ago. But I feel like they've grown close, and I feel like we've got a really good relationship, and I got people I can rely on.
Barnett isn't sure where the future of 4-H is going, but he hopes more young people will consider joining and staying active in their communities.
It gives them something to do that they desire and want to learn and participate in.
I think that it would be really beneficial to most kids that aren't in it yet to get into it and learn a lot of stuff about agriculture and stuff like that.
If you're interested in joining, visit Mississippi State's Extension Service and find your local county extension office to find out what 4-H clubs exist in your area.
All clear in the world of weather right now. That's a great thing to be, or great place to be, rather, as we've had a lot of storms recently. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Our Louisville, Mississippi time-lapse from this afternoon. Look at those friendly clouds. Don't they look great? The sky a little extra blue. We've scoured out some of that humidity, so none of that haze, and just a refreshing day for us. And notice those clouds are pretty flat, pretty thin, and that just means a stable atmosphere, and that means cooler air is coming on in here. Stable air, cooler air. You can see our lows expected to be in the lower 60s tonight and tomorrow night. Then we're back into the soup by the weekend, but over the near term we're looking great. I showed you these last night. Record lows for tomorrow morning, upper 50s, low 60s. Same story for Thursday morning. The average is 71, so we're actually going to be in that territory as we go throughout the course of the next couple of nights here. So later on tonight when you wake up, low 60s, perhaps some upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. Low to mid 80s across the board. Lots of sunshine here, no weather worries. Upper 50s, low 60s again Thursday morning. Tons of sunshine here. Mid to upper 80s around our region as we get into Thursday. So lots of sunshine. Warm days, cool nights for the next few days here, and some weekend storms as some of that tropical moisture comes on back here. But in the near term, we are looking great. Those puffy cumulus clouds beginning to go away, and all of that rain and storminess associated with the cold front well off to our southeast, and that's where it's going to be. We've got 82 in Tupelo, 81 in Columbus right now. Not too bad, 79 in Memphis. Lows, as I mentioned, down into the low 60s, if not a few upper 50s. Here's your planner for tomorrow. Sunglasses needed all day long. 64 at 7, 81 or so by noon, maybe 82, 85 are forecast high in some spots. Some of you may lag just a little bit. 83 in New Albany and Tupelo, same story in Amory, but farther south is shot at those mid-80s in the Columbus and Golden Triangle area. West Alabama, 84, 85, 86 as well. Winds still from the north and northeast at about 5 to 15. So pretty nice and sunny area-wide here. Mostly sunny, even closer to the coast too, where they are dealing with the storms. That front will move offshore, and we're looking with some fantastic weather here in Mississippi and Alabama, most of the deep south, not only tomorrow, but also as we get into our Thursday. That moisture will start to creep back in here as we get into the weekend, but I think we stay dry through at least Friday. The rain chances down to 0 here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up to 20%, pretty isolated Saturday. A chance for some of those spotty summertime storms, Joey, by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Your sports is next. Stay with us.
Your WCBI Sports is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Chris Bolton. The high school football tour officially hits the halfway point. For stop number 30, we stop in on our first group of Tigers this week in Hatley. This year, the Tigers simply want to strive for more.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
It's the season of tenacity for the Hatley Tigers.
Be your absolute best, in whatever it is you do, whether you're in the weight room, whether you're on the field, or the court, or in the hallway, be your absolutely best. And if we can get them to do that, everything else takes care of itself.
That includes what happens on the gridiron. The Tigers return an experienced bunch from last season and have set the standard high right out of the gate.
I think the bar is high as we can set it. I think we can be all the way at the top. And I think if we don't do the right thing, then we'll be all the way at the bottom. But we got to do the right thing.
I really want to win a lot more games than we have been here the past few years. And I think we have the talent this year to do it, and we have a lot of potential.
The potential has been nurtured over the course of the past 2 seasons by Coach Adams. Before, for the Tigers, the challenge was focused on coaching turnover. Now under Adams, they know the drill and can focus strictly on the game.
But the past 3 years with him, it's been great, He's been out here pushing us to be our best every day.
He definitely drives us hard every day and definitely has the right mindset for us and helps us push through to be the best that we can be.
Big benefit because we know what to expect now instead of changing over and over every year, and it's a lot better than it has been.
Something Adams has worked to instill in his team's mind is the importance of practices day in and day out.
Understanding what Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is about. Because by the time you get to Friday, you either done it or you haven't. And, if I could get our guys to understand that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is more important than really honestly Friday becomes, because if you don't prepare correctly, it doesn't matter what happens on Friday.
We got to come back on Monday, starting Mondays through Thursdays, walkthroughs, ready for the game, and we got to do things right.
A new season for the Tigers begins against Hamilton on August 23rd. With Hatley on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
60 Schools in 60 Days with Hatley High School was brought to you by Cleveland Moffitt Funeral Home, Holloway's Body Shop, and Monroe County Farm Bureau.
The accolades continue rolling in from Mississippi State's Darrell Williams as he's been named on the Outland Trophy watch list. The Outland Trophy honors the nation's top interior linemen. Other honors Williams has garnered this offseason include being named on the Remington Trophy watch, second team All-SEC, and second team All-America. The Outland Trophy winner will be announced December 12th. College hoops is on the horizon. Mississippi State's men's basketball releases its non-conference games for the upcoming season. November 8th is a home game against Southland Conference champs Sam Houston State. MSU also takes on Louisiana Tech in the Hump on December 5th. There are 2 other big-time matchups for the Dogs. December 14th, they take on Kansas State in New Jersey. And December 22nd, they play 2-time defending WAC conference champs and 30-game winner New Mexico State at the Coliseum in Jackson. That's all we have for sports. We have a last look at your forecast coming up after the break.
In just over 30 minutes, you'll have a chance to see where all three Republican candidates for governor stand. Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves, former Supreme Court Justice Bill Waller Jr., and State Representative Robert Foster face off in a live debate, and you can watch it right here on WCBI. This will be the first time all three candidates have been together on stage to debate. It starts at 7 o'clock, and just a reminder, primary elections are on August 6th.
And the weather right now feels more like September than July or August, Joey.
It does.
Great weather this evening. Get out there and make the most of it. Same story tomorrow evening, but really for the next few days here, lots of sun, low humidity. So our lows will be down to around 60 tonight and tomorrow night, too.